Welcome to Drink Till We're Married podcast. Here, the cocktails are crafted, relationships are always the topic of conversation, and our guests are put in the hot seat. Cheers.
Boop, boop.
Hey, cuties, here with another episode of Drink Till We're Married podcast. And I have a special guest, friend to the room,
It's
not really a
special
guest.
no more.
I'm not, well, and yeah, like friend to the room. I'm like, you're not even really, I wouldn't even say a guest.
Yeah, it's like a.
We have Oz back with us.
I like this. This is my favorite thing to do. My favorite podcast.
Oh, I love it. I love
I
it.
told you I listened to it even without me being on it.
I
Always
appreciate that.
interesting.
I appreciate that. You never know what you're going to hear on here.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
That's why you get the drinks. You get the drinks flowing. Everybody start talking.
Yes. And we usually drink before, but we didn't this
Yes,
time
no.
because I don't really drink brown and I don't want to be in here acting a fool.
Got
But
the J on there.
we are drinking, and it is an old fashioned. I would say it's a classic, but I made it with rye, Uncle Nearest, so it's not really a classic. But simple syrup, orange bitters, and orange peel. You know,
It smells so good.
does it smell good? Here, cheers. Let's see what it tastes like. I hope it's good.
Orange
It's strong.
is very strong. You about to be here talking. You about to be here
Oh my
talking.
goodness.
I'm
All
about-
right, then.
I'm gonna put myself on a little timer and finish that one because it's gonna be on.
Ooh, I know. I'm gonna have to sip because that's strong.
That's very
I
strong.
don't think I've ever had an old fashioned. Maybe not in a while, but sheesh. And the rye is like 100 proof.
Ooh.
So that's probably why too.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, Uncle Nearest doesn't taste that strong. Of the now see.
Yes. So of course, we're gonna put you in the hot seat. All new questions.
I'm new to this.
You're-
I'm true to this.
Not new
Not
to this.
new to this.
Okay. So you ready? All right. Length or girth?
Wait. Let's wait. Stop the timer.
You like, wait, you came out real hot.
You can't, wait. Wait. How does that? You can't pertain that to me.
I could. What, like, okay. So
We had to rephrase that.
I'm okay. Do you have length or girth?
Both?
Oh, of course he would say both. It's fine. Know when you'll die or how you'll die.
When?
Spin the block on your ex or get married at first sight.
Spin the block.
Okay. Get over it or get even.
Get over it.
Okay. And reverse cowgirl or doggy style.
Reverse cowgirl, feet on the bed,
Okay.
heels on, hot heels,
Okay.
stiletto,
Okay.
ones that tie up around the calf muscle.
Well, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I'm dying, yo. See, you do the hot five, I think probably the best out of anyone that comes on the show.
That's
You
what I'm
and
talking
Erica.
That's
Like,
what I'm talking
seriously. No talking. You just, whatever.
It's the hot seat. You gotta let it,
It's
you
a
gotta
hot
let it go.
seat. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
You gotta rapid fire.
Right.
I like that. That's-
Cool.
That last one. You always say, I like the formula is like, boom, like,
We get your drinks. We get your
get the drink. And then the question is like, all right, yeah, cool, boom, boom. And then it's like one of them that fucks you up every time.
But you did good this time. Last time you was like, oh, the last one kind of threw you.
I forgot it was a cream or a squirter or something.
No, it was about
Was that the first one?
gosh, it was about dying. Wait, being rich and lonely, or
Yep, that was a good one.
yeah,
That was a good
yeah.
one.
But we have Oz
Lit.
here. Listen, that thing hit me. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not tripping.
and I haven't eaten since probably like 3 o'clock.
making sure I wasn't
So,
tripping.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it's definitely strong, which is good though. So I want to talk about the topic today is act bad, right? And I want to talk about toxic relationships. And
Great experience with those.
I know, well, that's why I figured this would be great for you.
Great experience with those.
So how do you what's a toxic relationship? How would you define it?
Like arguing, like constant, like constant arguing, or like being in a relationship with somebody who you want to change into something.
Ooh.
That is super toxic to me, because then there's going. All right, so that's actually probably at the top of the list. If it was in the shape of a pyramid, it would be that, and then everything under that falls. Because once somebody wants to change you and they don't truly like you for you, but they don't know that, so they try to make you into their dad. They try to make you into, I had that before.
Okay.
Try to make you into more like her husband, or boom, or boom. I ain't never had that, but I don't think.
I don't like her. Wait,
You know, like somebody, my man does this.
Right.
I wish my man did that, so that I want you to be this.
Right.
But if we get in relationships with people that we actually like, and like we really, really like, then you wouldn't try to change them, or you wouldn't feel like, oh, I need to make them better. Let me mold them into something.
So how do relationships usually start? We always talk about, the representative, everyone's putting their best foot forward. How long does it take to turn toxic though?
3 months.
3 months?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Really? See, I'm thinking the person would still be trying to put their best foot forward.
Nah, so 3 months, I think y'all have had a bunch of sex early on. Y'all fucking like rabbits. Y'all kicked it, maybe went on a trip or something, and then boom, right when the monotony starts, where it's all right, every day we,
you used to the person, now it's regular,
and it's all right, all this shit wears off. That's when the argument and stuff start happening.
Okay. 3 months though?
I think 3 months.
But I feel like you've done a lot in 3 months too.
I think because you start so heavy and hot.
So every relationship isn't like that. It's usually when you have that real intense physical attraction to someone.
Oh, that too. That's dope.
You know what I mean? Because then that's when you start having sex so early, and it's crazy.
That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point, because if you really are physically attracted to that person, then it's or somebody who I think most of my relationships have been somebody that I seen before or I knew, and it just started happening.
Okay.
Out of nowhere. But it took me I ain't gonna say I pursued it, but
you see him a couple times, you're I
got patience like a lion. I'm I be in the Serengeti and I just be in the grass. And I be sitting and waiting. I don't know how dudes be blowing up inboxes and all that. That ain't me. I just wait in the tall grass, and then boom, when I get one open, I'm striking.
I think it is all about the opening, but okay. So intense physical attraction. So that means getting the physical in the relationship early, you really haven't gotten a chance to get to know them for who they are.
No, because you so caught up in
everything else.
Right. They look like, they sexy. Ooh.
Yeah.
You want to take them around everybody. You know what I mean? So it's you want to show off, but then I guess once all that wears off, what do you have left?
And that's when it starts, the arguing and
the fighting, and they realize that you a hoe a little bit.
So let me ask you this. Are you usually the toxic person in a relationship, or are you toxic and they're reacting to your toxicity, or are you both toxic? What do you think it is?
That's a great question. I think I'm very self-deprecating. So I'm not like a person that be like, oh no, I don't be doing all that.
Right.
No, I be wilding sometimes. But I think yeah, for sure. I think about the last 2 relationships, and for sure earlier, that 3 month span, it was some bullshit because I did it.
Yeah.
But it's again, I'm sorry to do it. It's an Aquarius thing. But like
Oh
both of
my
them,
God.
both of them were Aquarius. And so at that mark, it was like, I don't think you ever get over, you know what I mean? Once you had that first boom,
and then you're waiting for it
you
in the
have to
second
get,
one.
oh yeah, you have to get, I think you in a relationship, you gotta either get over it or you fucking leave. You don't like if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna ride it out or whatever, you gotta let the shit go. And if you don't let it go, it's gonna brew. And that's what I think happened. And that literally stayed for the entire course of years.
Okay.
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the craziest thing you've done in a relationship?
Oh shit.
I'm playing no. Listen, you can decline to answer.
To be completely honest, I don't think I've done like anything crazy. But I think like when it's over or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once no, and even when it's over, I'm cool. Like I do the whole like, fine, fuck it. I'm
Right.
out anyway. And then
What's your sign?
Cancer.
I knew. I remember that now.
And
Okay.
I'll be like, all right, this is over then. Fuck it. And I'll be cool for that a little bit, but then like if I feel like you moving on or I feel like you going somewhere, now that's when I turn up.
Really?
Bitch,
So what do you do?
Playing. You supposed
to beg me to come back.
Yeah, where you going?
Are you serious?
Going on dates, so I kill him and you.
Oh my God. Yo, but that is so real. I saw a post the other day. It was like, dudes always know when you doing better because they always come sniffing back around.
That shit motherfucking hurt your fucking soul. That shit feel like a shotgun blast to the chest. You be cool, and then
you don't.
she post that fucking Rolex at the dinner table.
Ooh.
You be,
Ooh.
I seen something a long time. That's where I got that from. So that's not me. I'm sorry, but it was just something I seen something on Twitter. The dude said, "I'll kill you, me, and him. Ain't nobody gonna get that good pussy." I said, "God damn."
Yo.
That's right. That's where it came. I'm not like that. But I done drove past past the house at night.
See who out there.
Yeah. I don't think I was ever expecting somebody car to be here, but if you not there, that shit was like
like at night. Yeah.
That shit hurt.
Yeah, I don't think I've done anything toxic, like crazy in a relationship, because I'm that person that's like, I'm good, I'm out. You know what I mean? And then you just won't hear from me like ever again type of situation. I've never, I'm trying to think, have I ever? No.
I heard, so I ain't gonna say who, but one of my homegirls told me that, but I was like years and years and years and years ago, I was talking to her, and super cool. I still talk to her to this day. But she was like, oh, and I ain't done nothing. I ain't never did nothing crazy. And then she was like, but this one time, and she was the first person that ever said that. She said, but this one time, and then she proceeded to tell me like the craziest story I've ever heard in my life. Like,
really?
She took the light bulbs out of his house and broke them all in the tub, and then turned the water on, threw all the stuff in the tub.
Oh
but there was no
wow!
lights on, so when you reach she went ballistic.
That's crazy.
And then she told and I was like, oh, fuck.
How did she come up with that?
That's
like
diabolical. That's a woman for you. I was like, oh shit. And so every girl who's ever told me that after that, be like, I ain't done nothing that crazy. So most of the time when they be like, but this one time, it's always the wildest story. Like, oh, shit.
I really haven't. I'm gonna keep thinking. I don't think I have though.
If you think about it, you gotta just break into it.
I know. I'm really trying to think because I like.
That's something you have to probably. I don't know. You're not contacting our exes, but
I know. Ask them.
If you were here, they would be like, "Oh shit, yeah. Remember that one time?" Like,
I will say this. So I have been sent some very lengthy emails, some fuck you notes. I have some shit but that's not off of me, in my opinion, doing anything crazy. I think it's probably the lack of emotion and can also put somebody over the edge.
I always get the crazy shit done to me. I don't get that emotional in the relationship. I
Right.
don't think. Like,
And that's what I was gonna ask you. So, what's the craziest thing that's been done to you,
oh shit, this is a
ladies?
3-hour podcast. Matter of fact, right down there,
Ooh.
I had a Lime scooter,
Okay.
little rental scooter,
Yes.
picked up and thrown into every window that was in that car.
Oh my gosh.
Broke all the lights on that car.
What?
Man, I said, boy, this was these motherfuckers be telling me they going through. I'm fucking done. I would never. Listen, I'm gonna block this bitch on everything. I'm gonna block her on life. She will
Yeah,
never
he's
hear
spinning
from
the
me
block.
again.
He's spinning the block
And
though.
then the next morning, I woke up and it was an email and it had like the Safe Light appointment to fix the window. It had all the lights in a chauffeur car. It was like, it'll be delivered on such and such day. I was like, damn, you crazy. Fucking,
Yo, ladies, y'all
turn
be
me the
going
fuck
in. Ooh, see, spinning the block.
Ooh, that was sexy as hell. Crazy bitch. That shit did something to me.
Men like crazy women, don't they?
I swear I did not until I read it to crazy. And I was like, oh, this shit is kind of lit. I see why y'all deal with that. It's just, to me, it's like it's an unrivaled feeling because it's like, if she's not crazy, I feel like you don't. I don't know. It's just something that you just don't know you need until you need it.
Right.
And then, like, I mean, that's what
It's
until you
almost,
have it.
yeah.
And so it's like, oh, I don't want no crazy chick. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Until.
And then you do it, and it's like, this bro love the fuck out of me.
Right.
Like,
so why? See, that is very toxic.
and so that's why I feel like I have very toxic traits, and I probably do a bunch of toxic shit, but I don't,
It doesn't register as toxic to
yeah,
you.
not at all.
Oh my goodness, yo.
Not at all.
I just don't understand. So you are actively contributing to the toxicity in your relationships.
Yeah, once it get to that point,
but
so
okay,
I'll be giving away.
Do you know what caused her to do that?
We wasn't talking at the time, and so she probably had too much to drink. But
you think she saw you out?
Nah, she had too much to drink, and then it just went from like
her friends with her, hypes her up.
And how did you fucking know?
I'm sure. Listen, I'm a woman. I have friends.
Oh,
we have each other up.
My neighbor called me from like the top floor, and she was like, "Hey, I'm looking down, and somebody is fucking up your car."
Oh.
I was like,
"Yeah."
So, and then I didn't want to leave the car out there because
then it's open.
The police and all that other shit. I was like, I don't want nobody to go. I ain't go.
You ain't want to press charges.
No,
nothing.
Hell no. So
even before you got the email.
Exactly. But way before that. I'll motherfuckers do a lot of shit before I call the police. And so I just hopped in the car with glass on my ass.
Oh my God.
I drove to my mom's house.
Wow. That's
fucking
deep.
nuts.
Yes, it is.
That was the first car she fucked up. She did two.
Did she fix the second one?
Yeah, she did.
Oh my gosh.
And the concierge like was showing the tape.
You tell me about that.
She was showing the tape.
Yo. That's like the little Meech situation with the neighbor.
Yes. Yes.
Yo, look.
She bashed that shit with a baseball or a softball bat.
Wow.
Smashed that fucking window.
So what did you do in that situation?
Have
you ever been caught cheating? Like, what causes a woman to like snap? Because I feel like that's snap.
That is, but you know what the wildest shit was?
What?
This is great content. So that day it was regular the whole day, and so she was over there, and I don't know how we started talking some deep shit and like
y'all still together?
So boom, huh?
You were together at this point?
Either how you do that little
that you were broken up, but y'all was still kicking it.
No, so we was never together like from 2018. I was down there like all the way till 2020, and then it was
never official.
Yeah, it was never official. That's crazy though. Like 2 years. Come on, what am I doing? So we were just talking. And we started talking about my son, and she was like, "Oh well, you did this with such and such girl." And I was like, "No, oh, I ain't do that. She was like, oh, you lying. So we went back and forth about that. But apparently she had already like seen it in my phone.
Well,
So she already knew. So
let me tell you. Pause. If a woman starts saying like actual like confidence, all this, she already knows.
yes, yeah, but you know me, I'm gonna deny. I'm gonna deny like to the I'm gonna deny.
She gonna have to pull up your phone and be able to get
yeah,
into it to
you
show
would have
you
to
again.
show me, and I'm gonna still like be like, I don't think
that was me.
I was tripping. So she had do, and so then she started lying, and that went to like somehow she picked up a knife. It went all left. So anyway, I went to my car, and then that's at that point she proceeded to boom, bash the window.
Were you out there when she did it?
Yeah,
what were you doing?
She smashed that motherfucker.
And you was just like standing there. So were you on the video too?
I probably was.
You never saw the video?
I ain't see it. I wonder if she still got it. Shout out to Kenya. That was my dog. She got it. She got it somewhere. But so all that shit happened. But the funniest shit was, all right, now let's fast forward some months. We were going back and forth about a certain somebody this whole time. Y'all like, and it wasn't me. It was like I just did like those relationship days. That's my homeboy. Fuck that nigga. So like it was little shit like she was using his Netflix account, and I was like, yeah, that's
at your house.
No, not at my house. I was like, what the why would you still?
Did they date previously? They was just
really so before. But see, the Aquarius thing is they're not gonna tell you that. That's something you gotta pull out of them. I went the whole relationship before that, like, oh yeah, that's our homeboy. Boom, and then at the end of the relationship, yeah, but then and then my ex Jay, and I said,
ooh, your ex.
I said, wait,
hold up, man.
Said, you know we've been together for 4 years. So I wanted to choke her, but I was on the phone, so cool. So again, it was almost the same situation. So she told me a little bit earlier after the fact. So all these shit, boom, go through this shit. So then we about to break up. She talking shit, boo. She on the phone talking, boo. And then she like I guess she was like, oh yeah, I'm about to hit this nigga with the boom.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I be fucking whoop. And I said, oh bitch, I'll kill you over this phone. And so I was like, I started cycling back. Like, we had a whole beef about me not telling you.
Right.
I was
friends.
I had like messed with somebody, whatever that situation was, and I didn't tell her. And at that said time, you did the same thing. And did
she bring him around?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. I thought you like knew him because you brought him around. Oh wow.
Hell, that was the wildest. And I said, women are fucking diabolical. Like truly diabolical.
Look at the wicked.
like diabolical. Like she wanted to weaponize this motherfucker so bad.
Wow.
I said, God damn. But that shit just fucked me up. So that was something that like I realized like, oh, when you're in a toxic situation, like you be knee deep in that shit. And it is no real exit to it.
I was about to ask you, so how do you get out of those situations?
I don't think you do, because I think you conflate the toxicity with like passion.
But you're not still with either of these women.
No.
You sure? You look like you're not sure.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't think I am. Okay.
So it just be them. I've never broken up with nobody. Ever.
So wait, what does that mean? Like
I just
you get broken up with.
Yeah. You just get tired of my shit and you just break up. But I'm not a quitter, so yeah, it gotta be a fucked up situation.
So
that situation I was broke because I got pride and I like.
Yo, you are hilarious.
It took a traumatic.
Okay.
I was after that point though, like I was done. Like I was absolutely
when she dropped the bomb about the dude.
God. I didn't want to motherfuckers don't look at me. Don't. I don't even want to see you. Like, I'm cool. It took a traumatic event, a extremely traumatic event, and she was there. Like after the fact, kind of when I came back, she was there, and like it just went from there. So she was like supportive and all this other shit. So it you know, it just then naturally got back to like, oh, well, we dating again. But had that not happened, oh man.
And that's the thing. So a relationship can be toxic without it being that dramatic. And I don't think people understand that or identify their situations as toxic if it's not busting the windows out the car and putting the glass in the tub. You know what I mean? But you just being with someone, in my opinion, and you knowing damn well you don't necessarily want it to go further, or like you said, you trying to change a person, like those that can become toxic, and it doesn't have to be the arguing and fighting to make it a toxic relationship either. So yeah,
I think that if you are, that's why I really want to try to like really put thought into this one day, but like I really think that like love is like a passion thing, and it's like a feeling thing, and it's a deep feeling of like but you have to be able, if you can't separate like possession,
right,
then
right,
it becomes the toxic,
yes,
shit that like, oh, I don't really want her no more, and I cheat,
but I don't want nobody else to have it. Yeah, and that's you're
and so
right.
I think I was there at one point, like before, like not this ex, one before that one, like I don't think I was like at the certain point I was like whatever, girl, but I just probably never thought she was going nowhere, and then she was very honest, like, oh yeah, I'm messing with somebody else. That shit was like,
so is that the only way that you figured out it was over? Is when she started messing with someone else?
Yeah, because then you don't got, like, as a nigga, you don't got the access. You don't got access no more. Yeah. And even if you do you really want, like, it just don't even, it's not even a situation that like feels good anymore to me. Yeah, like because
then you feel like I'm second, like I'm not gonna be like second.
And then I talked about this before, like on our podcast, like the it just feel like somebody has like, I don't know if you ever had like your house broken into or your car broken into, it's that feeling. Yes, of I've like, car broken oh, this ain't mine no more. Right, it just like, don't feel the same. It just don't feel the same. Yeah. It don't feel good. It don't like, you know what I mean? And so that, and then it's like you was dating her, you was with her, you was taking her out, you was doing all this, and then women, of course, do that little in between thing where they just start like, I ain't gonna say hoe phase, but oh, you just went out with this dude, you trying to get over, so now you fucking him, and so like that was just like, I don't fucking like, I don't like. This motherfucker probably be telling his homeboy like, yeah, this little bitch coming over, and I'd be like, that's what I be thinking about. Maybe that's just me, but like, I'm telling you, I love you. Like, I remember like, oh, this is my girl. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's my girl. Ooh. And then like at some point down the line, like some niggas like, oh yeah, the little bitch coming over. Yeah, the little bitch from the yeah, that little hoe ass bitch. Yeah, she be talking about dick and shit. Like, oh man, that shit hurt. I be thinking about shit like that, and it just turns me the fuck off. I like. Yeah, you remember that little bitch? Like, he don't even fucking love you. He be fucking you. Yeah, I fucking glad you laying in my bed, whore.
How quickly the table served.
I know, and I be like, just being from a nigga that cheated 76 times.
But she's supposed to take your black ass back and love up on you like
and shit forget all that shit like ain't nothing happened. Those fucking men are insane.
Yes. And then you wonder why women are diabolical. I mean, it's like...
I like how you brought that full circle.
Yeah. I mean, cause and effect. You know what I mean? Action, reaction. Right? And it may not have been you that did something to her, but past relationships. You know what I'm saying? People start seeing things that... the patterns, right? And then they will react regardless if you've done it 10 times, right? The last dude could have done it 10 times. You could have did it once, or not even for real.
Yeah, I don't think we ever start, and that's a bad character flaw or like something messed up in our computer chips as humans. But like, we don't ever start with 0-0.
No,
Like the game never
there
starts at
is
0-0.
no 0-0.
It always starts with like,
Yeah.
you know.
But the crazy thing is, it's not even just relationships. Like for me, I was told that I don't emotionally share. But for me, that's not from relationships. That's from how I was raised. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm the youngest. Like gotta be tough. You can't show emotion. You know what I mean? Like my brother's in the middle, so I literally that was my dude. Like I hung with him and his friends. So it's like a lot of masculine traits, and most men don't know what to do with that. So it's not just relationship things that we carry with us. It's, childhood. It's, everything.
That's tough. Because I got be thinking like, I think a dude probably does look at a woman for that. I don't know how I would deal with that dynamic because I'm not, it might be lit for me though, because I don't ever, it's very rare that I ever like be like, man, I just really want to talk about my feelings today. Like that's just too like again, I was the youngest, just like you, so it's like nobody paid it. I was so far down,
thing,
like
right.
I was like I'm like 10 years younger than mine. You know what I'm saying? So like nobody even was sitting there like after 4 children. My mom was probably like,
raise your brother.
yeah, they were like, you know what I mean? My mom was like probably almost 40 when she had me or something.
Okay.
Like that. So they weren't like, oh, we got time to really nurture a baby. Like it was probably like, all right, go play and boom. So I was by myself a lot, which it was damaging, but it was like, you by yourself, so you're not in a position to be like, oh, I want to share my feelings today.
Right.
And if you did, who the fuck would be like,
to?
Oh, right. Yeah, let's sit down and talk about your feelings.
And that's the thing. So even someone can do something to me and I won't even react. Like I won't verbally react. But if you know me well enough, you'll know. So I'm like, example. So I was staying with a friend of mine when I was getting stuff done to my place. And I was there like a couple days. And he was like, well, what's the status of your place? I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't spoken to the guy yet. And this was like on a Thursday. I had been there since Monday. And
I don't like the way the story's going.
Why? You know where it's going?
No, I do know where it's going, but I'm trying to formulate something in my head. But go ahead.
Okay. So then on that next morning, he was like, so do you let me know if you need help today? And I'm like, help with what? He was like, getting your stuff to someone else's house, basically. I was like, oh, no, I'm good. So I got up, I worked out. He came down to work out. I went up. By the time he was done working out, I had all my shit packed up in my car. Like, that's how I react. Like, when I could have flipped out when he said that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did it? But I did. So I don't react in a way that most people might react in that moment. It's like, I can show you better than I can tell you. I think that's my reaction to most things.
And I feel that because I've done that too many times. Like, oh, sure shit. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let me get my shit the fuck out.
Right.
Like once you tell me some shit like that, like you be like, oh well, it's mine.
Right.
That burns my soul.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not like I don't give a fuck
that.
if you staying in my apartment. I don't give a fuck if you're using my car.
Right.
Like I'll ask you I'm borrowing it from you.
Right.
Like that's just how I am. And so, but when people be like, oh, well, it's my house, and
right. Oh, okay. Let me give you your stuff back. But that's me with a lot of things. So I mean, you could probably say something to me, and I mean, I've noticed it at work too, because I kind of snapped on somebody today at work. But it's me. I hold it in, right, instead of communicating. So I'm not. I know it. I'm not a great communicator, but
I feel that. 100%.
Yeah. So.
Damn, I feel that.
I guess it could be a little toxic, huh?
Because
if you're not communicating how people make you feel, they can't correct
and people are going
it.
to try to that's what happens with me. Like people try to always pull it out. Like, well, you don't tell me this. I'm like, I don't want to sit there and divulge my feelings. Like, right. I have these really deep feelings, and it's like sit and think about stuff, but to sit there and communicate it.
Is it because you don't want to be vulnerable? Because once you start
That
sharing,
too. And once you, and then again, I don't trust women with a lot of information. I
well,
like,
yeah.
like
And
we,
I think that's me too. Like, I just don't trust people with the information because I feel like they'll use it against you.
that, and that's, and I don't, and I'm trying to think like at what stage of a relationship will you be comfortable enough to be like, oh yeah, this happened in my life, or ooh, ooh. And honestly, like I don't ever see myself getting there because like once you like weaponize it,
Right.
oh man.
And that's, I think, a reaction to having things weaponized against you
Mm-hmm.
previously. Yeah.
Like
So,
once you weaponize, like, oh well, um, I seen something today, like on Twitter. The girl was like, "Well, that's why your dad don't talk to you.
oh,
You've been wanting to spend time with your dad, and she don't talk to you." And I was like, "Fuck." And he was
wow.
like, "Why would you say that?" And
Right.
she was like, and she kept
Oh,
going, and I was like, "Oh, was just like, you know what I mean? Like that that would shatter me, not because you did that, but because now
I
you're
can't
no
trust
different
you.
from a like
Yeah,
like you're
seriously.
like there's and you are somebody who I feel this connection with, or I
Yeah.
feel this way about, and
Yeah.
you have turned into a stone cold like op. So
Yeah. Seriously. And so mine started with my brother.
mhm.
Like, this is the earliest I can remember me not. So, watching TV and you hear something, you're in the other room, you come running in the room all excited. He would change the channel. Like, really, dude? Yeah. And I mean, it happened to me to the point where I just wouldn't get excited. Like, I wouldn't even share that with him anymore. So I can come walking in the room and act like nothing. And then I get to see what I want to see. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I've never, that's
yeah,
crazy. You know what used to burn me?
therapy.
Damn, like you unlocking shit in my head. But like my dad used to do that. Not like that, but it was like I used to come in there, like he'd be watching something. I come in like, what you watching, Dad? He'd be like, damn, I just turned the TV on. I don't fucking know. Just turn the goddamn TV on. And
Yes.
that shit burned me. So I used to be
Yeah.
like, in my head, I used to be like, fuck you, nigga.
Right. Like, well, I just
Bitch,
want to
I
come
just
chill
want,
with
yeah,
you.
like,
Right?
motherfucker, I'll go back upstairs. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then that, and then my ex she's like, she used to be like watching, like I'll be on Twitter, she'd be on Twitter, blah, 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 and I'll be like, oh, look at this shit, funny as hell. She'd be like, oh, I seen that.
Oh, yo.
Like that I used to be like, what? And I
I don't
never
like
started,
that.
and I never started
I don't
like I
like that
always,
either.
even if she used to always show me shit. I used to see 90% of the shit she showed me. I was like, that's funnier than a motherfucker. And then when she started doing it, I started doing it. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, I don't like that feeling.
Yes.
Of being like, I used to be like,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
I'm telling you. So I had a relationship where it was, I don't want to say it was toxic, but he was like real, I don't know. It was bad where I started acting like him, not showing emotion, not, and I was like, same thing as you said. I was like, no, I don't like who I'm becoming just to show him what he's doing to me. I was like, no. Yeah, I had to end that situation because what I'm not gonna do is change myself.
Yep. As soon as you start changing, it's like
Toxic.
It's toxic.
Right.
It's trying to go. That's probably the hardest thing for me. I just like do shit to make you be like, all right, fuck you. I'm breaking up with you. Now I'm not the bad. Now I'm not the bad guy.
So, right. See? I
was
was going to say, you said you have never broken up with anybody. However, and you just proved my point because I feel like men don't break up with you because they don't want to be the bad guy. So you would just do things to push her to that point to break up with you.
And when she broke up,
but she's going to tell you why she broke up with you, which would lead back to what you did.
And then the reality is like 90% of the time when they do that, they're like, oh, I want to break up, but they don't really want to break up. They just want you to like go
better.
back to wherever you know what I mean, or do better or whatever.
Yeah.
And but at that point, I'd be like, oh no, well once you said that, then I'd be using that as a clutch.
Right. Yeah.
Crutch,
until
like,
you pulling up outside her house.
Yeah. And I'm cool. So then like that month, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm talking to bitch. I ain't deleting nothing on my phone. I'm great, boy. Nigga, we outside, nigga, with a hose, nigga. And then boom, she be motherfucking at the crib crying and shit, texting you. You be like, God, I ain't got no time for this shit. Then she did, like, you know what I mean? A day go by, 2 days, 3 days, she ain't text you. You like,
hold up now, wait.
this bitch. That's why I don't fuck with you, because you make up some bullshit argument. She be like, okay. Bitch, what you been? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Where's the paragraphs at? Oh, nah, here
The
I
paragraphs
go.
you're not
I'm
gonna
on the way.
read.
I'm on the way right now.
Gotta swoop in.
Oh yeah, I'm on the way right
See?
now, and that shit. And
I'm
when
telling you.
and she was really like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm straight." I
Wow.
was like, and then that's when men go into like the depression and you know what I mean, all that shit.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have
Now
like,
it's real.
it's not. You don't have that possession anymore.
Right.
Like,
but why is it about a possession? And I think that's you said it. We go wrong when we aren't loving a person for who they are because they're in our life. We want to own them and kind of, like when I think possession, I think control and you know what I mean? Like, okay.
I don't think, like, for me, and I'm sure it does happen, but possession doesn't mean control for me, but it's
ownership. I mean,
yeah, it's owner. It's like
that's
like
my
you ain't
girl.
going nowhere. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And that's
okay.
that's a very bad
place to be, because then you think you can do anything you want. She's not going anywhere.
Exactly. And you are like, oh man, I don't give a fuck. Nigga, I'm coming in at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is she gonna do? And so she's taking mental notes of all this shit. She may not even be tripping about it, but like, all right. And then, you know, you're fracturing over and over, thinking she not going nowhere. And once a woman gets fed up, like that dude that's in jail said that. He was like, when a woman's fed up, and you don't know, you know what I mean? You don't hear that song like that, but but when she fed the fuck up, and a woman's like, and she not sending you them text messages no more, and she moves the fuck on, she going on dates and shit. Yeah. Shit, oh my God.
It's real. But why does it take getting to that point for men to actually understand kind of the power they already had in the relationship?
Because it takes, I think it takes so much for a man to get the gravity of like the shit you doing. Like it takes a whole lot. He ain't gonna listen to this. My homeboy, right? Like he got caught cheating. So once he got caught cheating, like he was like a real nigga cheater. Like that nigga would take girls on dates, all kind of shit. Like shit I would never do.
Okay.
If I'm cheating, like it's sex. Like I don't give a fuck about your day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't talk to me about your day.
I mean, I ain't that cold, but I'm not like
really
dating
listening.
you. I'm not like, it's literally kind of sex. I try not to formulate that way because I don't want nobody to ever feel like a hoe or nothing shit like that. But
he calling y'all hoes,
yeah, kind of. But he would, like, you know what I mean, take women on dates and blah blah. And so once he got caught and he seen like what that shit did to his girl, oh, that motherfucker was hurt. He was sick.
So what do you mean? Like, what did it do to her? Like how she felt?
Yeah, when she feel like, you know what I mean? When you see a woman like at that point,
hurt,
like at that level of hurt, and like that shit feels like you really do be feeling like, oh yeah, I am a piece of shit.
But do you do better? Like, what do you do?
You do better for a while.
Because if that's who you are, that's who you are. But why can't people just be honest that they don't want to be in a relationship?
Because they do want to be in a relationship.
No, they want the benefits of the relationship.
For sure. But because you know there's nothing else out here.
He'll bust some ass that he's trying to slide up in.
Yeah, and it's like men have no, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just are wired to, like, I don't know, you just got to look at, like, other species and animals, and you, like, especially lions are really good. Like, they got, 4 or 5 women, all of them got kids. But when one be like, all right, motherfucker, this other lion be lurking around, motherfucker be walking around the distance.
Yes.
Be like, oh, what's up, bitch? I seen y'all hunting the other day. You looking good. And so that motherfucker, he cool with just, you know what I mean? But when he see that shit, oh yeah, it's on. Motherfucker, we got to fight to the death over this pussy, nigga. I don't give a fuck if I got 30 women. Nigga, we fight to the motherfucker.
This one is mine.
That's what mine,
She
motherfucker.
say here.
And
Yes.
men are like, that's just how our computer chips is. We just be so hard down on like, you know, like, oh, we have to conquer something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of like women have a really hard time early on, like dating and they date like, you know, a couple dudes and shit don't work. It's because motherfuckers are just trying to, we're wired to like, oh, I like her. I seen her at the club. Oh, I've been trying to bag her. I've been trying to have sex with her.
Whenever they get the opportunity.
I got conquer. Like Vikings used to go to villages and take over. They didn't want shit in the village.
Right.
They just went to go destroy the shit, take some women, and then move and go to the next one. It's like that's what we're wired towards, which is fucked up. And so it's once we get that out of our system or learn that about yourself, that like, oh, I don't need to have sex with every woman I come across. Oh, I don't need to date every woman. You know what I mean?
It takes growth, right? And you have to be intentional and want that. So what triggers that change? Is it just you growing up and realizing you don't need to do that, or what is it?
So the crazy part was I told you to date the girl for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And so at the point
it wasn't official.
And it wasn't official, but then at the point where it was kind of like, she was like, well, I mean, motherfucker, you been here, but you ain't dating me, you don't want me. And I'm like, damn, I do though. I just be doing stupid shit.
Fuck yeah. You know, I be out here doing dumb shit with my friends.
Yeah. I was just like, it was kind of like a fuck it thing, but I was like, man, it is what it is. And so I was like, well, let's just be together. It wasn't nothing romantic about it, which is looking back on, that's kind of crazy. Is that I mean? But
I don't think it needs to be this whole pomp and circumstance.
I don't think so either. But I think women sometimes want that. But I was more so like,
where you weren't proposing.
No, yeah,
right.
I was laying in bed like, oh well, let's just be together then.
Yeah.
Like, and then when I thought about it, like, after the next day, I was like, oh my God, I fucked up. There's
Why?
no way I like getting rid of bitches. No way.
Oh,
it's impossible. But I was there, but it was like, damn, I got a girl now, so I can't, like, I don't reach out to nobody. And boom.
You know,
but I was like, man, these hoes gonna hit me up. How many
you
hoes hit me up?
Nothing.
Oh. No hoes. So if I would have reached out, of course.
Of course.
I mean, but I didn't. And so like after a month and 2 months, then I'm not deleting nothing on my phone. Then that shit start feeling good. Then she want to order Postmates, and she like, oh, let me see your phone. And you don't got to sweat bullets. Oh, that shit feel good. Like, oh, I'm ordering some Postmates here. Boom.
Right.
Oh yeah, my password.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And then you start being like, oh, this piece feels like piece feels amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like you have peace in your life where you don't like be sitting there like, oh, I'm talking to this bitch. Delete.
Phone got to be turned over all the time.
Flipped over. Ring her off.
Right.
Like, oh, she want to see something. Like,
let me see. Right.
Because the bitch from third grade that you ain't talked to in 17 years, like, hits you up, like, oh, what's up? Let me get some dick. You like, bitch, I never talked to you. What? Bitch, why would you send me that?
Because you be having your hair out here.
One girl from, I swear to God, from high school blew me up one night on Facebook Messenger. And I was like, bro, listen, I have not talked to this girl in I have no clue why she called me 3 times on it. I promise you I don't. Like, you can see my phone. Like, I was like, I cussed her the fuck out. What the fuck are you doing? Don't ever do that shit again. Like,
like for
3 times at like 12 o'clock at night. Like, I don't know if she thought I was out somewhere or, you know what I mean, something like that. But like, I was like, bro. So she looking like, well, this bitch called you.
Right.
I was like,
and that's, all it takes is one.
Nah. And she was looking at each other. But again, that peace, like when you don't have to hide shit, like that felt so good to me after going through like 2018 drama, 2019 car.
2 years of drama.
2020, the first part, motherfucker, in the house, COVID, still getting in trouble. And
in the house and COVID getting in trouble. You was doing house visits. You was dropping groceries off and shit.
It was like that little bit of COVID where like that it was a stretch in COVID where everybody was like, oh hell no, I ain't going to that motherfucker. Oh no, everybody gotta go
was like,
upstairs. Then it was like April came, motherfuckers was like,
I'm tired of this
get
shit.
it.
Yes.
I was
sliding out.
I was motherfucking penthouse. Come through. Oh, fucking up. And so, but all that shit, it was like. Then after all that, the what's the little comparison? Like it was just peace, and then it was peace was
drama?
so much better
drama
than
and
the
peace.
drama
Yeah.
and the bullshit, and it felt good. It collapsed at a certain point, but it felt good.
So, going into your next relationship, are you looking for peace?
I don't know if I like peace.
But this is the thing. You said you like peace. But what does that really mean, right? So for me, I don't feel like you need the extreme toxicity of a relationship to get that adrenaline. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So you can't have that in your relationship without the other women, the phone and the texting and the sex and the cheating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have an exciting relationship with one woman out the gate.
Out the gate, yeah. But I'm at this point, like, I'm so old. Like I know what the first 3 months.
So old.
I'm old. I like the first 3 months. I already know it. You know what I mean? I want like in 2 years, like I want to still be feeling like
day one.
Yeah, day one.
Yeah.
Is that like Disney like movies?
I don't know. I think it's real.
Somebody has it.
I think so.
Somebody has that shit, and they found.
And it's not just perfect all the time, but I think when you're having more good times than bad, and when you're not, I think when you're breaking the trust or and I'm speaking from experience, right? When you continue that, you know, you go through that gray period, right? Where it's not defined, but if she's feeling a certain way and wants it to be defined, and you're like taking those 2 steps forward, but then there's like 3 steps back. Mm-hmm. That 3 steps back is like starting over for me. I don't know how the rest of the women think. And it's like, it takes so long to build back where I can trust you again, mm-hmm. to have that fun, you know, that where you really want to be. It's like, why do we have to go through those cycles? Like, if we can't just keep that shit fresh from gate, right? Where we're on the same page and we want the same things. So that's when you get that space of that spontaneity, that excitement, because she trusts you. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I think when you lose that trust, you have to build it back, and it takes so long to build back. You know what I mean? And it's so hard.
You're making a lot of sense, because like thinking about, like, again, those first months was cool, but then it was always like the first time, last time that after 3 months, she was texting girls on the phone.
And she only had those girls to text on the phone because they was in your phone.
It was in my phone.
Right.
So I was fucking up. They called me crying. Somebody called me, said, not on Mother's Day. One girl said, oh, I want some crazy dick like that. Ooh. It was a mess. And so I was like, fuck. But again, then we stopped talking, but then making it past that point, getting past there, like, does it ever, you know what I mean?
It never completely goes back away. Because she's like, continuously holding back.
The next relationship, I have to not.
You gotta want the peace.
You know what I mean? You gotta want the peace early on. You gotta you gotta be ready to be in a relationship with that person. Yes. And then, you know what I mean, not ever backslide in those first, you know what I mean?
And things happen, but I think it depends on what happens too.
But see, I know now that things like don't happen like in that arena as far as like cheating.
Right.
Like I know for a fact that, I never had that thought, because in a relationship I was always fucking off. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, how can I stop? There's no way I can stop this.
Right. Because that's just what you were used to doing.
It was what I was used to doing. So once I, like, I ain't gonna say had to do it, you know what I mean? But
You
once it
yeah.
happened, I was like, this is you can't buy this shit nowhere.
Yeah.
Like you just literally like go to the bathroom, phone on the bed.
Right.
Like you're not afraid, like sweating bullets while she trying to figure out. Then the woman's gonna sit there and be like, I think I want the brown rice. Click.
Right.
No. You
Right.
be sitting there like,
just go online and look at their menu first.
That's why
on your phone.
I used to be like, yeah, put it up on your phone. I'm about to make a. You know what I mean? Well, you be like, here you go. And then boom, you walk out the room and you know, have a conversation, blah, blah.
Yeah. But I don't think a lot of men understand that with that trust. When we trust you, it unlocks, it like opens up that next level. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as we lose it, it closes it right back. It's not like, you know, and it's so hard to get it back to that space again.
And I don't think it ever does.
Yeah, because even for me, like in the back of my mind,
it's always like, what's
there.
when is the other shoe gonna drop?
Right,
and that's not a good
and even if not when, like for me, it just never goes away. So there's always that piece of me that I'm not like, you won't get that 100% because I'm like, I have to hold something back because I don't want to be hurt like that again.
For sure. That's the bad part. It's like you don't ever want to put somebody in a position to where they feel like, oh yeah, it's cool now, but like what?
Right.
Like what's gonna happen? Like that's how humans are. Like, oh, is it this gonna happen or boom? It's
right.
That's not a good feeling.
And is it because I know men don't usually like to talk about relationships a lot? Sorry, I'm easily distracted. I was looking at the reflection on the ceiling. Is this?
Oh, okay.
So men don't like to talk about relationships, right? So then you're dating this person and it gets to a certain point and we're like, it's a relationship, right? Because we stopped doing whatever we were doing before, but you never have that conversation. And then you open up that sphere of, well, it's not a relationship to me, so I'm still doing what I want to do. Why don't we just have those more conversations on where we're at, right? Whether we're committed or not, but just those checkpoints to be like, okay, you know, we've been kicking it for this long. Why don't men like to do that?
Because men think you're trying to put them in a box. But I think the crazy part is like, I think that's a good strategy for women and to not be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Because you gotta let her, but you can't be. I don't think you can be humble in that in those instances because you kind of gotta let him know, like, yeah, just let me know because if we fucking off a little bit,
then I'm fucking off too. Let's fuck off.
Let's all fuck off, and if we come back together and we can kick it on like Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
You're right.
And then motherfuckers is gonna be like, oh no.
Right, like wait, now
I need
you fucking off too, like you.
What you doing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Ladies, you hear it.
And if you start having that checkpoint, a motherfucker's gonna be like, all right, never mind.
Right.
You know,
like
I want a committed relationship. Like you have to let people know, like, like the juxtaposition of like the not being in a relationship is fucking off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
doing whatever.
It's not like you can't get a committed friendship, motherfucker. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. And we think that as men, hell yeah.
Yes,
I love that. Like,
right. I know where she's at.
Life partner.
I know who she with.
And women go all the way to fuck in, no matter what situation, because y'all just wired like that. Y'all like, if motherfucker be like, oh yeah, we just cool, but we be fucking sometimes. Like y'all be like, oh, I'm on the way home. You think I should go out tonight? You know what I mean?
Listen,
and you know,
ladies, stop being so available.
Yeah.
Stop sharing so much. Let them guess.
Yeah, sometimes don't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Dudes want possession of something. If you want possession of something, then you're going to have to
earn that.
Earn the possession.
Yeah.
And you got to be possessed, motherfucker. And if it got to go both ways. And if it's not, then it got to go both ways.
Right.
You fucking
exactly.
off. I'm fucking off.
We out here fucking off. Babe, listen. So I know we were scheduled to have this recording today, but our real life came up with this topic like at 3:00 when you hit me up.
That's fire.
But it's you. That's fire. So I knew it would be an amazing conversation.
That's fire. This is good.
So thank you for coming back.
Amazing. Anytime.
Awesome. Well, tell people where to find you cutting up online when you cut up.
I'm Pastor Sounds on Instagram.
He don't want to give you all the Twitter, but
I don't even. My Twitter's insane. Again,
I do follow him on Twitter, so if you follow me,
that's right. I forgot about that. Oh man!
But they don't be on Twitter like that anyway.
Yeah,
so
Twitter's amazing.
It's too much.
The news gets there first, and it gets everywhere else. That's what the screenshots for Instagram.
That's
so
true.
if you want to be on the top,
that is so true. You're right.
Get on there, follow the right people, see all the right.
See, and for me, it's the right people.
Yeah, you just got to keep just follow. I mean, that's when you start like.
You'll see who
you'll
retweets
just keep boom.
and all
You'll see like, oh, that was funny, and then you start following that person for that content.
And it's the same thing. I guess
you just got to keep following people.
Yeah.
And once you see, you're like, oh, okay.
the timeline will be lit.
Litty.
Well, you can find us at drinktilwe'remarried.com. And we thank you so much for joining. And until next time, cheers.